We'll say something funny so we can start this podcast off right.
What do you mean say something funny?
Say something funny before I put the intro in.
I don't know. Cars 2 is hilarious.
Alright, I guess that works. Welcome to Talk About, the show where we do just that. I'm your host Icarus, joined by fellow YouTuber Mystic Goon. The title is a talking point and our opinions are final. So, on the first ever podcast, we are ranking the 20 Pixar movies that have come out. In North America, at least. And,
Wait, what do you mean in North America?
I don't know. I can always just cut this part out. This is a great start. I'm loving this. Anyway, there are 20 movies. We're gonna rank them all. Who wants to start?
I mean, you haven't seen 2 of them, and I haven't seen 1.
Okay. Which one haven't you seen?
I haven't seen Incredibles 2.
Okay.
I know I'm terrible for that, but yeah.
You're fine. And I haven't seen Cars 3 or Brave, so...
You keep sleeping, but I'll go ahead and start it off because I'm pretty sure me and you have the same one at the very bottom.
Alright, let's hear it.
So, my number, I guess it'd be 19 since I haven't seen one of them, is Cars 2 because that movie was trash.
Oh yeah. I'll agree with you on that for my, I guess, number 18, also Cars 2. It kind of just didn't have a need to exist. Didn't need to be made.
Like, exactly. And it's, like, Cars is supposed to be about, like, Lightning McQueen and, like, his whole career and everything. But he wasn't even the main character. It was Mater, which was super stupid. And they made him into a secret agent. They acted like he had hands and he has tires. And that made me so mad.
I understand the whole point of the movie was to sell more toys, but I think that's my main problem with it, is because every decision made for the movie was, what can we make more toys out of? So that's where you get the 8 different cars that are all special agents and all that jazz, and it's dumb. I don't like it.
Exactly. It was terrible. Who made it? It was John Lasseter that was, like, the director or writer, something like that. And right after it, he stepped down, I'm pretty sure. Because he knew it was so trash.
Yeah, John Lasseter hasn't directed a movie since Cars 2. It's that bad. It was that bad.
Exactly. How you gonna make one of the goats step down? Okay, like, oh, they didn't like it. Oh no.
Oh no. All right, so there's number 19/18. What is your 18 now?
All right, I don't know if you had the same one here, but I have The Good Dinosaur.
Again, I have to agree. It's more the movies that don't need to exist and or are just flat out terrible that are up at the top. The Good Dinosaur is another good example on the other side where it's just flat out terrible, in my opinion at least.
I wouldn't say it was terrible. It was just like I hated Spot.
Oh yeah,
and I didn't like Arlo at all.
I just thought it was kind of formulaic in a sense because it just kind of hits all the spots. A dinosaur child doesn't understand his family. He gets his family Disneyed away as they all die in a mudslide. Learns the value of friendship / family needs with small boy who acts like a dog because, I don't know, he just acts like a dog. Kind of reminds me of Ice Age a little. Because it's an animal taking a small child back to his family, who are all Eskimos. Am I the only one who thinks that? It's kind of like Ice Age.
But I liked Ice Age was fine. So, like Ice Age did it right in my opinion. But like, I don't know, The Good Dinosaur is just like everything falls super flat. I mean, the water looked amazing. But that was like the highlight of it.
Yeah, the movie looks good. It's not a good story. That's all.
Exactly. It looks pretty, but that's it.
Anything else we have on The Good Dinosaur?
Trash.
It's trash. All right, number 17 for you. What you got?
I got Monsters University.
Okay, all right, Monsters U. For this one, I had Finding Dory.
Oh.
Okay, you start with Monsters U. What did you find wrong with it?
Okay, with Monster University, the whole thing is the fact that Mike and Sully, they're supposed to know each other from like, what was it, like preschool or whatever,
Yeah,
and
the
they completely threw
elementary.
that away. And they're like, "Up, no, we met in college," and it was like it felt stupid. Honestly, I think like it would have been better if they had a sequel and just shown like how Sully was coping without Boo there, what Mike was doing with his little girlfriend. Maybe he had a child or whatever. But instead, they brought it back, and it was like it wasn't really good in how they showed the backstory. It felt kind of rushed, honestly.
Whenever I think of the movies after or right before Cars 2, I always think about it like how would a good sequel be? And I always think that Pixar will never make a good sequel, minus Incredibles 2, which was much better than any other sequel they've made. But just, or also minus Toy Story 2, but any sequel they've made that are not those two movies, they're not like, because you know how you have conversations where it's like, oh, what if this happened in the future? All those YouTube videos, stuff like that. They haven't done any of that, so now my expectations are super low. So I'm not that surprised that they did Monsters University. It's just, it was 12 years later and they had basically forgotten about it, so I'm not that surprised they did it.
All right, what you guys say about Finding Dory?
Finding Dory. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of the way. The scene where she finds her parents with the seashells is really good. That's a really good scene, alright? You gotta have your motivation, not your motivation, your emotional scene in a Pixar movie. That was really well done. I felt it. I was like, alright, this is good. But
I agree.
the movie, just like Cars 2, didn't really need to exist. When I think about it, I think, okay, when you make a Finding Nemo sequel, what do you have there? What can you create with that? And I don't really think you could do anything. I think Finding Nemo is one of the greatest movies. I'm just gonna say a blanket statement. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever made because it comes out. It's the most raw Pixar movie, and it blows everyone's minds. But I feel like it just need to be a standalone movie. And Finding Dory comes out and kind of just throws away all the dynamics the first movie had made. That's just my opinion. I don't think the movie needed to exist. There was also a picture I saw where it was someone complaining about because there was a gay couple apparently in the movie, and then they start complaining about how Squidward and the Krabby Patty had a family. I thought that was funny, and so,
What?
so they showed a picture of two females from Finding Dory holding hands and like, all right, people
Yeah,
all
I
up,
remember that scene. But
people all up in arms about that. But then he then he showed a picture of when Squidward was married to the Krabby Patty, and they had a Krabby Patty son with tentacles in it. And he's like, no one talking about this, and I'm like, you know what, you're right. That was just completely looked over. But besides all that, I don't know. Finding Dory was just kind of tacked on. It was painless. It was a painless hour 20 minutes. But I felt like there's more that could have been done with it.
all right,
All right, number 17. What you got?
all right. My one right here is Finding Dory.
All right.
My whole thing was like that one scene at the very end after everybody's stuck in the truck. The fact that the octopus takes over the truck and is driving, and Dory's helping him like navigate and everything. It made me so mad because I'm like, it's an octopus driving. And then we're always talking about pollution and everything. You know, plastic and all that.
Right.
So instead of them just saying, "Oh, let me have some more pollution in there," because we actually see early in the movie there's pollution and all that, like the soda can thing. Their idea was they're going to drive a whole truck into the water. Nobody seemed to have a problem with it at all. Nobody thought, "Oh, maybe there's some fish, you know, right here that could get crushed by this truck." It's not even a little truck. It's a whole. It's not a pickup. What is it?
It's like an 18-wheeler.
Yes, exactly. Nobody cares.
No one
at
cares.
all.
No.
Not a single comment. And not to mention all those car accidents.
Yeah, no, no, no. You know what? Now that I remember, it caused a huge scene because they're driving on a major highway, and then just okay. I have to drive on the interstate multiple times a year, multiple times like a month, really. And every time I do it, there's at least five 18 wheelers in my field of view. If one of them had done that on a bridge, the catastrophe would be talked about for days.
Exactly. It's raps. Like, and nobody seemed to care. I understand that they're fish, so maybe they didn't hear about what happened. And but it's like they just drove a whole truck into the water.
Yeah, not much consequences. I guess the only reason they wrote it in was just because they could shoehorn in a Louis Armstrong reference with the song.
I guess. And it's like, don't get me wrong. I don't think the movie was like bad or anything. I like that they had like Dory find her family and everything, and it was like because of her losing her memory and everything. So like I like that portion of it. They made the squid and do the normal Disney thing where he's like, "Oh, I'm mean, I'm a dick," and then
Right.
now I'm nice. Oh, we're friends, and now I'm like a school teacher, whatever. And like when he met up with the parents, it was all cool and everything. But at the same time, I'm like, this wasn't what I wanted. I wanted something like I don't know exactly what I wanted, but that wasn't it.
I understand. No, I get you.
Oh, also I like the little cameo of the fish, how they're still in plastic bags from years and years and years ago. I
Yeah.
like their little cameo. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Finding Dory. Wasn't nothing special.
Wasn't that much? Yeah, I get you. I get you.
All right,
Well,
what's yours?
I hate to do this, but it's Incredibles 2.
Wow.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so with this one, first off, the movie looks great. All right, it's a great looking movie. But 14 years pass. I was a little boy when Incredibles comes out. That movie had a
Same here.
big impact on me. All right, I gotta wait 14 years for it to come out. My thoughts are racing. Plus, you ended the last movie with a cliffhanger. So when the movie starts up, all right, you're picking right back up where you started. Good job. But then they lose. They get arrested. They fire the Secret Service guy, and they're like, "All right, fresh start." And I go, "Okay, that's fine. Just get rid of everything. Start new. I get it." But the thing is, Syndrome is a really good villain. He had a good backstory, a good reason to hate the Incredibles, and a good plan to take over, not really take over the world, but just get his revenge. Okay, make everyone not super. That's really good. With the rich, I don't remember Helen. No, Ellen. I forget her name. The evil lady from the movie. It's so obvious she's the villain in the first 5 seconds. My father turned to me in the middle of the theater and he went, "I know who the villain is." And at that moment, I went, "Okay, this is too simple of a story." And then it just hits every single note. And it's just upsetting because the first Incredibles was such a new idea for a superhero movie, and now Incredibles 2 is just kind of piggybacking off everything else that's been done. And I don't know. Plus, there's too many scenes with Jack being a goofy baby, and I could have done without that. I understand he needs to be in the movie, but he's a little too much in the movie, and he doesn't really do anything. I just don't know.
Oh, so they took away the originality of it, and it's like
Yeah, yeah. It's just kind of more. I guess just more easy for younger kids to follow. It's not challenging in the slightest anymore.
it sounded like they Cars 2'd it, where
They
they made
ki-
the little
they kind of
the
cars
little
tuned it. Yeah, honestly.
the joke character, which was Mater in Cars,
Hmm.
and Jack in Incredibles, and they're like, now he's in here all the time. Like,
Oh, yeah. That's just me. I'm pretty sure kids, 5-year-old kids, thought it was the best movie ever. Which again, to be 5 years old again, I wish I could be like that, but I'm not. So that's just me. It came out too late for me to like it more than I could have.
dang. See, that's why they need to stop taking forever on these sequels.
Mm.
Has me scared for Toy Story 4.
Oh, apparently it's so sad. Tom Hanks cries.
He looks like a crier anyway.
Yeah, but hey,
He
if
looks like the
it's
type of person that have a hang nose, like, oh.
oh, oh. Okay, sure, all right. All right. What are we at? I don't remember the number we're at, but next movie.
I'm at my number 15.
All right.
And I have Cars.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna react to Cars like that. But my thing is, all right, Cars. In my opinion, I'd say like Cars was like the last of the original Disney movies, right?
Right.
Like, because after Cars, that's when you start seeing like a change. I feel like the difference between Cars and Ratatouille was like pretty significant.
Right.
I felt like Cars and the other ones like kind of felt the same, and then Ratatouille was like, all right, it's like the second half of it, like second generation of Pixar movies. Cars didn't hit me like all the other Pixar movies before it did, and it's not that it's a bad movie. Cars was amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like literally that same year, I got it like a DVD of it for my birthday because like I liked Cars. Like my room had Cars things in it when I was younger, so it was like Cars is cool. Lightning McQueen, he did the Disney thing or Pixar thing. He's a dick, and he's like, oh, these people aren't too bad. Now I'm nice and I'm winning. But wait, hold on. There's a twist. He didn't actually win. He actually let the other person win so he can make a guy that's retiring finish his last race. So it's like, oh, you don't have to win to be a winner. And I really hated that being like, since I played sports, I'm like, if I hurt somebody on the field, cause I played soccer,
right,
I'm gonna go score and then I'll come back and help you up. I'm not gonna just stop.
Right.
He was at the finish line. He could have easily finished and then drove back and picked up King. I would have been like, oh wow, he actually went back. He didn't have to, and he helped this dude finish his race. That's like super nice. But instead, he came in third to help him out. When like I ain't like that. That didn't hit me right.
As someone who understands slightly what NASCAR is, when I look back at the finale of the movie, only 3 cars racing makes no sense because that's not a thing. A 3-way tie, they would still just do another race with 80 cars on the track. And as an adult, I go, huh, that makes no sense at all. So that's just a fun little thing I picked up on. All right, where am I at? Ah, yes, Inside Out.
Wow.
Yes, I know. With this movie, this came out 2 years after Frozen, and so that was when I was in my angry at everything mood, and so this just kind of hit me at a wrong time. So, the movie, it has Amy Poehler as Happiness, and so the whole thing about her is, learning to deal with her emotions, growing up into a young woman. When I saw it for the first time, the first 24 hours, I was like, all right, that was a pretty good movie, pretty decent movie. But then I started to think about it, and then I watched it again. Having Happiness change her emotions during the scene where they're trapped in the dark pit completely derails everything about the movie. Everything changes because you look at the ending scenes, everyone else, they have the same 5 emotions and they're all still the same. But Riley, no, she got different changing emotions. And how does a person only have 5 different emotions? That's not correct. There are more emotions. And then with the whole thing with how she runs away just because, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to me.
No, that made me mad. That actually did make me mad.
I'll
talk about it when it gets in my list.
I have this overwhelming, just not anger per se, but just kind of I feel irritated by the movie because I feel like it oversimplifies this extreme idea. And so it could have been so much more, but it just falls right below it. And that's what makes me mad. All right.
Understandable.
Understandable. Next, what we got?
All right. Dang, I'm really mad that it's this low, but cause like especially because I just made a video in its defense. But at 14, I got A Bug's Life.
Okay. All right.
All right. So with A Bug's Life, it's not even really its fault. It's more so I enjoyed the other movies just that much more.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't have a sequel. Even though the sequels have been trash, it doesn't have a sequel.
Yeah,
I
would
think that's
have
an indication of something.
Yeah.
And it's like the fact that Ants came out around the same time also makes it seem worse to me because like Ants was like a grown up A Bug's Life. So it had more like adult jokes. So I found that one more humorous. And when I look to Pixar movies, I look at humor as being like a good bit of it. And making adult jokes in Ants is kind of better than my boy Heimlich carrying the load when it comes to the funnies, like Heimlich and Dot.
Right.
Not to say that Ants is better. Ants is not better than A Bug's Life. That'd be crazy to say. But when it came to comedy, it kind of had it, and that's kind of what I looked to A Bug's Life for, since they both had kind of the same plot. That's my thing about it.
A Bug's Life is higher on my list, but there's a part that you didn't hit on that I'm going to explode because it makes me so angry. But we're gonna save that for later. Up next for mine is Cars. It's definitely the weakest of the before Ratatouille movies. Again with the ending, I feel like the ending was a little gimmicky. Like, look how good of a person he is now. Spending all that time on Route 66 really helped him out, even though he could have just drifted over the finish line, then go help him. He probably saved some time. He would have saved time by just going over, like finishing, going right over there. But no, he stopped, looked back, thought about it, watch Green Car. What's his name? Yeah, Chick Hicks. Watch him go by. Then he's got to slowly drive over there, have the announcer go, and that whole ending is just a little annoying. But besides that, Cars is not a bad movie. I just don't know why they're cars. That part I never really got. Why are they? What is the purpose of them being cars? Never really got that part. Then again, it's 2006, and drawing humans didn't work out so well. Actually, no, wait. This is after The Incredibles. What was the point of them being cars? Why are they cars? I don't know. It's got a... And then they had a joke about her having a tramp stamp. And Susie, is that her name? Susie? The love interest?
Wait, Sally.
Sally. Yeah, it's Sally. She got a tramp stamp.
Oh, wait, I forgot about the fans that flashed them.
Yes, the Japanese fans that flashed. That was good. That was
hilarious.
I think that's what Cars is. Cars is more moments than it is a full story for me. Because a lot of the story is just him pulling old Bessie and dealing with Mater. And I don't really like Mater that much as I used to. Maybe it's just because he's voiced by Larry the Cable Guy and that whole southern accent gets annoying eventually. But, yeah, Cars for me next.
Alright. So, what am I up to? 13?
Yeah.
Alright. I have Inside Out.
Alright.
Well, we have a lot of the same, like, lower movies. But, alright, Inside Out's down here. Mostly because sadness made me so mad. Like, not even looking at, like, the deeper story of it being, like, emotions and people going through them. It's just sadness just found every type of way to ruin something. She got a simple instruction. Hey, bruh, go do this real quick. We're busy. She's like, okay. And she intentionally went and messed something up. They said, hey, don't touch this ball. And she pulled some 3-year-old foolishness where it's like, oh, you told me not to, so I'm about to do it. And she just went and gripped it. And then she went and touched.
I guess she did
else.
have like a death grip on it, didn't she? She just not want to let it go.
She didn't want to let go. Oh, and then when they went down to go try and fix things, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're walking. She's sitting there. She sees all the memories. She's going to pull her hand across all of them.
Yeah.
Like, it was funny, but she was like, I was like, what the freak, bro? Like, you know how mad I would be? I'm like, I got my little shine. I'm a little happy. Psych, give me that back. Like, why?
Yeah, that's kind of a problem of personifying your emotions, because, I mean, when one emotion tells another emotion not to do anything, and then they up and do it, it kind of, you're like, well, that's not really how it works. And gets in the hole.
I really wish that they had another emotion called sass.
Sass.
I felt like that would have been the best character.
Isn't that just disgust? I feel like that's just disgust.
Disgust is like, you're trash. Sass is like, let me tell you why.
Oh, okay, sure, all right. I guess sass. I mean, again, there are thousands of emotions people feel every day. Maybe not thousands, but more than 5.
Like that Family Guy joke where it's like, I'm poo. Like, that's not an emotion. I just thought it was funny.
I saw the how it should have ended of Inside Out, and I remember the scene perfectly in my mind when those workers are taking the hose and getting rid of all the memories. Or no, they're not getting rid of them, or they can, but they also can send some back to HQ. And he does the gum joke. It's like, what a funny joke, gum. I laughed, but then they're like, hey, why can't we just go through the chute? We're small enough. And I'm like, why didn't they? That whole adventure about trying to find oneself could have been avoided just going through the pipe. And so I hate it when movies do that, where they write something in where they could have just...
They really did not think that through at all.
No, they didn't.
See, there's plot holes. That's a problem.
It's a big problem.
Massive problem.
Can you hear me now, Mr. Krabs? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that...
Oh, good lord. I hate to cut that part out, but we're going to have to because it ruins the flow of it. Anyway, where were we? We were making fun of Inside Out. Now I
lost it. I was like, that's a plot hole.
Well, dang. I guess Pixar heard us and cut the whole thing out. Well, then.
All T-Bag.
Alright, what am I at? Yes. I'm at Coco.
Whoa.
Alright. First, really controversial opinion.
Coco, for real?
Yes. Because the grandmother is somehow the only thing making this thing happen, because she just won't say anything. Here's the thing. When your grandmother, Manuel's grandmother, Coco's daughter, when he says that De La Cruz is their father, and she says, "Oh, is he now?" The fact that she doesn't know makes me kind of think that that's not really what happened. And then when Manuel goes over to De La Cruz, and he says, "You're my great-great-grandfather," and then they start talking about family. It's like, did you leave your family behind? And he's like, "Oh, yes." The whole movie is just like banking on the fact that you don't ask why they're playing the pronoun game. When he meets, what's Bony Man's name? I've completely forgotten. Hector. When he meets Hector, and he goes, "I gotta meet De La Cruz," and shows him the picture, he should go, "Hey, that's my guitar." And then just, it would have been so simple to fix the movie in 10 minutes if they just said, "Hey, I'm looking for grandfather." Like when he's talking to the rest of his relatives at the beginning of the movie, and he goes, "Fine, I'll go get De La Cruz." She would have just said, "De La Cruz, we're not related to him." He would have been, "Oh, well, that's awkward."
Yeah. Was Coco in the room?
Coco wasn't in the room, but when he was like in the land of the dead, he was talking to like his 18 family members that are all dead. Like talking to the mother of Coco, You know, the one that Hector left to go make a music career with.
Oh.
He said De La Cruz in the room, and she didn't say nothing. When they are following him to De La Cruz's party, she says nothing. She just sings a song. She just sings "Remember Me," and I'm like, why would you do that?
See, the whole time when you said grandmother, I was thinking like Coco's daughter. I was like, but she didn't know
No,
the
no.
dude because Coco's father's the one that was missing. But dang,
Whole movie could have been prevented, and that's just one giant plot hole that I don't like. And
not even just that. Like, if the grandmother was being so stubborn and like trying to put like specifications on how she's going to send him home, like what you was going to make the kid die, and just because you're being stubborn and don't want to listen to music or play music, like what's up with you? All y'all gonna die soon. Not even trying to be like morbid or nothing. I'm just saying, y'all aren't alive. Why are you trying to put like regulations on what I can do? Let me be me for a little bit, please. I just want to play guitar.
What I want to know is why it took 6 generations for someone in that family to finally go, hey, man, I don't know about you, but this music, it sounds pretty good to me. Like,
yeah, I was like, it's a bop. What is wrong with you? I'm tired of making these shoes. Ain't nobody buying these shoes.
No, but all of them just say no music and just like, what? All of you just cut out music in your entire life. I don't know. It's too ridiculous. But again, it's a cartoon. Give it some leeway with it. But still a little ridiculous. And then finally, to cap off the whole thing, to have De La Cruz, kind of like it's 24-hour period, and they jick around for a lot of the movie. They go over to that old dying skeleton man's house, sings him a song, makes a funny adult joke, haha, dies. I'm like, okay, that ate up a good chunk of time. You got 24 hours, you're wasting it all your time, goes over to De La Cruz, I've got a grandson, that whole montage, that probably took some time. Just, the movie feels not connected, feels rushed. Like a whole bunch of colors. Which again, movie looks really nice. Pixar does pretty good with that.
I'm just mad that they're all making zapatos and don't want to listen to music.
You're right. They making shoes. Don't want. I would want to listen. I would want to make some shoes while listening to music. That would make the workday so much easier.
Silence. Talking about my zapatos look good.
That's great. Just like that. That's their exact wording. These zapatos look pretty good. Oh Lord, I'm dying. Oh man, I'm dying. That was good. All right, next movies. Where are we at?
Oh, this is my number 11. So this is the one right outside my top 10. All right. It's Ratatouille.
Oof.
That might be controversial for what movies are left, and I'm waiting for you to notice that one of them in particular is still there. Mm-hmm. But I bet you already know which one it is.
I'm just keeping it in the back of my mind.
Anyway, my whole thing was, it's a rat making food, and that is very foul and vile. They literally came with the Black Plague. When you have something called the Black Plague, they have Ring Around the Rosie made just for it.
Yeah,
it's a problem when you have it preparing your food, and the way that they had him controlling him. I'll be damned to have some rat that was just biting my chest. That boy had a whole bunch of bumps. I bet he didn't go to the hospital, so he might have something now. And his little boo thing that he got from the kitchen, she probably gotta go check herself too. But right after that, he just pulled the hair. If somebody pulls my hair, my naps is gonna hurt. It's not gonna make me pick up my arm under that. And you're telling me he just happens to have been the son of the owner, but nobody knew at all? You telling me that the mother waited till Buddy died to send the son there to get a job, and then the son just happens to take over the restaurant? And you're telling me that Chef Skinner, knowing full well who that was, just happened to have the paper saying that it's his restaurant in the same office, but he was more concerned about a rat.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's just a bunch of coincidences, which again, I'll leave up to cartoon logic. That's the parts where I can't really combat because, again, cartoon logic. But what I want to know is Remy is a rat living with a bunch of other rats, eating from the garbage. He watches one VHS of a fat man over on the telly just saying anyone can cook. And so Remy goes, "Yeah, I can cook." And the first time he gets it, first time he tries, he's like, "Yes, this is how you make it." He knows the right flame to put it on. He knows the right amount to put it on. He's perfect. And I'm like, that's a rat. That's gross. He don't know nothing. So he washes his hand. He washes his hands. He's still dirty. Just because a man with AIDS washes his hand does not mean he doesn't have AIDS anymore.
He washes his hands in a drop of water.
He doesn't even use soap. You're right. It's just one drop.
And what made me even more mad about this movie was Anton Ego was like the big player in the whole thing. This random dude that walked in like he owned the place, sat down, built like Squidward when he was like walking through a rough neighborhood, sat down, was like, "I want food." I bet Buddy didn't even pay for it.
No. He's a reviewer. They don't have to pay food. Remember?
That's
SpongeBob
bullshit.
episode where the dude comes.
No. You're not walking to my restaurant. I have to pay bills. I'll pay the bills just so you can come here and eat for free. I don't care what you're reviewing. This ain't YouTube. Like this ain't no free trial service. Like, oh yeah, you know what? Let me test this out. I'll get back to you. Like, this ain't no taste and buy. No. Pay me.
Pay me. That's all I ask.
And it's like, what's even worse, he got the restaurant shut down and then made them open up a whole nother restaurant. So I bet they had to go to the bank and get some loans out. And he's going to come back. I bet he's going there trying to get free food again. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I know Remy. That's my boy. Free food." Like, you didn't help me at all.
What I don't understand is that at the end of the film, when everyone realizes that it's rats. Well, first off, they kidnap 2 people in the movie, not charged with anything.
Chill, they did. They got the health inspector and Chef Skinner?
Mm-hmm. Threw him in the freezer. No consequences for that. But people, knowing that rats are all in the kitchen, go, "Yeah, I'd eat there." And they're successful. I know it's France, I know it's a different culture and all, but that's also Europe, where, as stated earlier, the Black Plague tore through. You'd think they would learn their lesson. No.
Exactly.
No. Hey.
That's 2.0 on the way.
They've got some good fried vegetables. Might as well go over.
They really said, "Don't call it a comeback." Everybody's sick.
Movies are stupid. Okay, I also had Ratatouille. I think we've said more than enough on that topic.
Alright, so it's top 10 time?
Top 10 time. Top 9 for me, really.
Alright, I have Brave.
Brave. Ah, yes.
The one I was implying that you probably noticed.
Yes, there it is.
My thing with Brave is that it's actually a bop. I don't know if it's because I like her accent. I don't know. I really like those accents. I like Irish accents and I like Scottish accents because they sound cool. Like, she's Scottish, right? Or is she Irish?
No, she's Irish. The
Okay, that's Becky Lynch, bro. What you mean? That enough said.
Bringing out the Becky Lynch reference.
Becky Lynch is a bop. Anyway, but like with the movie, I liked it because you know how they always talking about women being independent and everything,
right?
But like they always show times where it's like they're not, and then people like will comment on it like, oh, like people that don't like feminists will try to talk down on it. Feminists will try and talk like, oh, it's the best movie ever, whatever. I'm not trying to be like mean or anything. My thing is she actually backs it up. The whole movie started off with her mother trying to force her into a marriage. Merida like, no, I'm not ready. And she actually like, all right, y'all gonna compete for my hand? I'm gonna compete for my own hand so I could do what I want to do. And she goes and she washes everybody, literally like Becky Lynch does.
That's what I don't like about the movie, though. That whole scene, I've seen that scene. The part where she just says, you know what, it's time for me to turn on the God mode hacks. And just pulls a Robin Hood. Just, oh, you want me to bust 3 arrows in a row right down the middle? Yeah, I can do that. And not a single guy there was competent enough to actually do anything. You got Skin and Bones over there. You got McFats over there. They can't do anything. She's the only competent person. She could have hit, like, the white outside part of the thing, and they would have been like, good job, you did the best. Congrats. And just, why'd they let her compete? Why'd they let her compete?
Who do you think taught Katniss how to shoot a bow?
I don't know. I truly don't know. Don't even get me started on the Hunger Games. That's a whole different can of worms. All right. I don't even want to begin with the teenage girls.
That's a topic for a different episode. My whole thing is, I actually like that she backed up everything that she's talking about, and like I kind of understand. All right, she shouldn't be able to be that good, but I understand why she was actually better than everybody else. Everybody else, they didn't do anything. They sat on their butts all day. It was obvious from how the parents presented them.
Right.
Merida, you actually see her, or is it Merida or Meredith? Either way. My girl M. We actually see her like every once in a while. I think it's like once a week, maybe once a month. I don't know. We actually see her go out and she's shooting arrows and like she's actually practicing, and she's had that bow since she was younger. So it's like she's been training to be proficient at what she does. So it kind of backs up how she was able to perform there, but she still shouldn't have been that good. That's not really realistic. Yeah. And my girl Boo popped up later, the old lady, the witch. She really finessed Merida, and I like that because she was gonna fall for it, but how she got her, how she was able to get her with that, they didn't have witch have to come back or anything. The witch made one appearance and then left.
Yeah.
And she tried to warn the girl, but Merida was being too hard-headed and went and messed stuff up. And then they did the Disney thing where they all resolved it, which was unfortunate. But for the most part, it's like a little quick watch, something that you can just sit down, put on, like, oh, that was nice, and then can keep your day going. It's not anything super special, but it's not bad. It's just like a little enjoyable watch, in my opinion.
That's another thing I don't like about modern Pixar is that now they're just things to watch. I want something special. That's why I'm hoping for Toy Story 4. Something special. But I'm not going to get it. Although, there's also another movie called Onward that I just learned about right this second.
Are you serious? I heard about it. That's the thing with Chris Pratt, Tom Holland, Louisa, like, Dreyfus.
Man, Chris Pratt is in everything now. All right. For number 9 from me, I have Up. So, with Up, the first 10 minutes are spectacular.
Wait, you said Up? Oh my god!
What'd you think I said?
No, it like as soon as.
Oh, okay. All right. So, the thing with Up, the first 10 minutes are fantastic. That is amazing visual storytelling. As the movie progresses, it gets worse and worse and worse for Pixar standards. It's not a bad movie. Do not get what I'm saying wrong. It's not bad at all. Very good. But the first 10 minutes overshadow everything. Like, it's so hard to come back from that 10 minutes that it's just, why even try? Maybe it should have just been a short film. Maybe. But Doug, Kevin, the animals in there, a good sheep laugh. They're not bad characters. They just overshadowed everything by the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes is what hurts this movie the most because it was so good. I know it sounds backwards, but just can't get over the...
That makes perfect sense. Like, they did too good at the start, so the rest of it, by default, looks worse, even though it's not a bad movie. It just cannot go back to that. They couldn't keep that same level.
Right. That's all. All
That's
right.
all you have on that?
I
All
mean, there's not much criticism I have towards Up. It looks good. The soundtrack is great. It's just the first 10 minutes just make it not as good as any other movies. It's just kind of a onward decline.
All right. Okay, number 9.
Next.
All right. I have Toy Story 3.
Controversial indeed. What do we have to say about this one?
Okay, my whole thing was I didn't care for Lotso at all. And it's like as soon as they went to the daycare and got dropped off and everything looked all sunshiny and rainbows, I was like it was an immediate indicator like, okay, they're not good people. I can tell that. It's extremely obvious. The whole way that everything like got turned off, like everything turned bad at the start.
Right.
That seemed like too convenient. Like, oh, we're all getting dropped off somewhere because like it was stupid, pretty much. And like the ending, they all should have died.
That ending was so weird.
They should have died. Like the movie would have been better. I know it would have been way sadder, and it was like a Pixar movie, so I doubt they would want to do that. But like, they should have had them all die.
I don't know. I don't know how I would feel if they all died, though. Like I would feel like actual pain in my heart if they all died.
That's what I wanted. It was the end. It was supposed to be Toy Story 3, the end of the trilogy. It was supposed to be a definite ending. Like in Cars 3, it had a definite ending.
But if they all died, then Key and Peele would never be able to show up in the sequel. How you gonna stiff Key and Peele like that? I don't know. I think you're right though. The ending should have been more dramatic and should have ended it, but I don't know if I could have done that at that age.
Like, the way that they got them out of the situation was just.
Oh, that was stupid. Yeah, no. Yeah, that was stupid. I totally agree there. Any other thoughts on it?
Besides the fact that I'm scared for Toy Story 4 coming soon, and that kind of taking away from Toy Story 3, and the fact that who is it, Mr. Potato Head? Like he passed, right?
All right.
I don't know what they're gonna do, but yeah, that's the end of Toy Story 3 for me.
Wally. I know it's not my top 5. I know. You just gotta. All right. The first half is the best first half of any Pixar movie ever made. I'll give Wall-E that. Then the humans show up. And it just tanks after that. After the first half, which was so good, having those two build their chemistry was so adorable. It was so great. And then the humans show up, and I'm just like, oh, you killed it. You killed the chemistry. Just the villain. It didn't need a villain. It didn't need. I would have enjoyed it if all the humans were dead. Honestly, if all the humans were dead and it was just these two robots and a couple more robots just kind of living life without humans, I would have been ecstatic. That would have been a great film. But no, the humans, they're back. They come back to Earth. They fix the world.
I feel like we're just terrible people because we both wished for like bad things at the end of these movies.
It's just because we want something that's, not the norm. We want something exciting.
Yeah.
I'm not bad. I'm just different. That's all. All right. What's up?
You want to hear something I just realized?
What'd you just realize?
I completely skipped the movie.
Oh, no. Now we have to go back. Awesome. Great.
All right. We can edit this and try and place it where it's supposed to be. Okay, well, since it's your video.
I said this was wee crap. This ain't nothing for me. Anyway.
This was actually like number 12.
12? Look at Lord! Alright.
I just realized, cause I just looked at the list, I was like, I don't remember talking about this movie.
Alright,
so number thing was Cars 3. I don't know how I skipped it, but like Cars 3.
Okay.
it was the best Cars movie, in my
Right.
opinion. But from the very start, you knew where the movie was going to go. You knew he was just going to take up Doc's role as being the crew chief or whatever. And Cruz, we knew that they're going to have it that she became the racer that she always wanted to be.
Right.
I felt the movie was too predictable in showing there's no way Lightning can keep up with this new, pretty much plastic car. He was playing. It was pretty much a Tonka truck playing against a Hot Wheel and
my.
getting exposed.
Tonka truck versus a Hot Wheel. No competition there, I guess.
And it was like they tried to make the movie even more silly, and I hate that word, but like they try to make it even more silly than Cars 2, but have serious undertones after, because the voice actor for Doc actually passed before the movie happened.
Right.
So they had like, flashbacks to him. It was like, these people used to be with Doc and everything, but it doesn't matter. None of it comes up for anything. Like, he learns new techniques and everything, but he doesn't even use them.
No. He don't, does he?
It was stupid, but like it was an enjoyable movie. Don't get me wrong. Like most Pixar movies, they're all enjoyable. It was stupid, but it was a good way to end the trilogy.
All right. Now we have to fast forward all the way back. I think. So what are you at now?
Number 8.
Number 8. Number 7 from me.
I have Up.
Here we go.
All right, my whole thing was it's pretty much the same thing you said, where they made it too good at the start, and so the ending kind of ruined it. I mean, not the ending, like the rest of the movie. The ending was good. I like it that he stopped being such a bitter old man. It's probably gonna be me when I get older, and like he's being friends to Russell. He's being nice. The one person that actually wanted to like be nice to him, he actually opened up a little bit. So I like that part. I like that the dogs had like flying ships and all that.
Yeah, that was
that's
where it went into cartoon logic again.
Yeah, like this isn't Looney Tunes. Don't do that to me, please. Cause like, the dogs can talk because of a special color. All right, they explained why the dog could talk. That's good. Then they had the dogs can fly planes. I was like, no, I refuse. They have paws, not hands. Don't do that.
Yeah, the kiddies like it, I guess. Remember, these are kids' movies. We have to.
I don't care. They know I still watch it.
That's true. I mean, that's the whole thing with The Incredibles too. That's why it had a couple curse words in there. They knew adults were watching it.
They had curse words in there?
Oh, right, yeah. They said hell like twice, and I think they said damn once.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Okay, I see you, Pixar.
All right, where am I? At number 7. A Bug's Life.
Yo, you had it like way above where I had it. All right, let's hear it.
Okay, so A Bug's Life. I'm just gonna get this part out of the way. The part where they don't understand, where they're like, they all leave and they all become sad because Flick got some circus animals, and they're all like, this is gonna do nothing, even though they did like so much. I hate that part. Any part in a movie where it does that, where they all make fun of him and all leave him alone because he does something bad, I hate that part. Get that part over with. Besides that, we have an ant who is trying to prove himself to the rest of his colony that he is something by inventing these great things, which I know on paper it doesn't sound good, but at the time when I watched it, when I'm a little boy, and I go, yeah, you can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. And then the circus animals, they all had good personalities. They all, commingled well together. Also, rest in peace, Kevin Spacey's career. He was very good as Hopper. All right.
He was Hopper.
Yeah, I liked Hopper as an antagonist because, well, in nature they are enemies, and to have this whole colony be outnumbered, and yet Hopper being such a menacing villain. When I was a kid, I was like, yeah, he's terrifying. He's scary. I don't like him. And so I kind of understood it. So besides the part where they're all mopey and stuff, everything just made sense to me. And it was funny when it needed to be funny, except when it got a little too unbearable. And I'm kind of starved for a sequel. I want to see these characters again. So
Exactly, and that's why I made the video about it. But my whole thing, Hopper was so fire. Like his speech where he talked about pretty much the circle of life. Perfect.
it's great.
And they actually killed him.
They did kill him. He got eaten by him. He didn't get eaten. He got fed to baby birds. 3 of them. He got torn apart.
Like I was like, oh, they taking lives.
Oh yeah.
Wait.
Circle of life, baby.
And that boy won that poo-poo platter. I remember that.
That was so stupid.
That was hilarious though.
Why'd you bring that back into my mind? All right, number 7. What we got?
I have Wall-E.
Wall-E. All right, let's hear it.
Kind of like what you said. I didn't like when they had all the humans coming back, and I didn't like that they just happened to see one particular plant on. It's the entire world. They just happened to find one plant that lived. That made me so mad. I understood like if it was maybe like at least a patch or something, but it was one plant and it was barely above like it barely got up out the ground. And they're like up, we can go back now, guys.
Yeah, tons of other parts
anymore.
Tons
What's
of
obesity? I don't know. We're going back to Earth. Like, bro, what?
The parts of the world that still don't have plants and are covered in carbon dioxide and just deadly poisonous gas. Nah, it's fine. One plant. We're good.
Exactly. Like that's what got me with that movie. But the movie was still amazing. Especially it got me into the movie and they didn't talk for the first like half hour.
So good. Such a good opening start to a movie. So great. All right,
what you got?
Toy Story 3.
Oh, all right.
Now,
the same thing. All right.
Toy Story 3 or Toy Story, the first movie I ever watched, all right? It holds a place in my heart that cannot be replaced by any other movie. It's 15 years later. I have been waiting and waiting and waiting. I have a Woody and Buzz toy right here in front of my computer. They mean that much to me. And here we have the trilogy, and it barely lived up to my expectations. So it's not the movie's fault, it's mine. So here's my whole thing. I didn't like the ending. I didn't cry at the ending. The whole ending where they go through each and every toy, I didn't feel anything with that because they didn't die. It like you said earlier, it didn't have a lasting impression. I didn't feel like this was the end. Andy's gone, sure, but they're still there. And I just felt like, there's got to be some more to this. Having them at the daycare, a lot so just kind of, it didn't feel like a Toy Story movie to me at some points. It just kind of felt more like a spy thriller with these characters in it. It just felt like they didn't belong sometimes. But the parts that really just kind of got to me, the beginning part where Andy is grown up and all the toys are sitting there, everyone is gone besides the main characters. When they mentioned Bo Peep, I was like, it's real. Time has passed. Like it's not your same bundle of friends. They've grown, they've matured, just like you have. And then them finally, when they are happy and they are like, yes, we're gonna get played with, just to have it all crashing down, just to have their feelings, like to watch their feelings on the screen, I was like, dang, like that hurts a lot to watch these characters. And so, even though it has its problems, I still feel like it's a good ending to it until Toy Story 4 comes out. Can I get an F in the chat? So sad. Should have been the end of it. No, gotta have a Toy Story 4. I'm so
I'm not gonna lie,
sad.
I was so mad when I found out about Toy Story 4.
Mm.
But like your explanation of it, that I agree. I agree.
All right.
I'm up to 6.
6. Next.
I have Toy Story 2.
Ooh, oh, mm.
I knew that was gonna hit you.
No! Why are you doing this to me? All right, let's hear it.
All right, my whole thing with it is, for a while, I thought this would be my favorite one. Like when I was just thinking about it, like off the top of my head, I was like, oh, Toy Story 2, because Ride Like the Wind, Bullseye, that was so freaking iconic. Like
So good.
that line, that's a bar. Like I could hear a rapper saying that, like as a bar. That is a bar right there, right?
It's pretty good.
And that's just a perfect line. But my whole thing is, there was no real need for the whole adventure they went on. Like Woody was like, he was butthurt that he was like old, and then he was like, oh wait, I have other stuff like going on with me. You for real? Like I had a whole show, and it's like it's just showing Woody's age. So when you met Jesse and I forgot Fat Boy's name.
The Prospector.
Yeah, the prospector. Was it like Stinky Pete?
Stinky Pete, that's it.
It was like he wasn't really going anywhere for his own benefit. It was more so like he had his own thoughts in mind, but by the end, it wasn't even for him. It was so he couldn't abandon Jesse, the prospector, and Bullseye. But that's pretty much him acting brand new. That's him switching up on his friends. He was with the toys in Andy's room for years upon years upon years. But at the first sign of something new, he just ran off and took it. Like, I'm all for taking opportunities, but you can't just leave all your friends in the behind like that if they're not negative or toxic people. Like Buzz, he isn't a negative. Rex, crap, what's the name of the pig?
Ham?
Ham. And Slinky. None of them are like negative people. They're always there for him, always supporting him. Even when Mr. Potato Head was trying to get everybody to turn on him in Toy Story 1, they were still kind of there for him. It was just the fact that Mr. Potato Head actually had real hands that kept them from being there for him.
Right.
So it's like, I ain't like Woody's character right there. And then there's a second Buzz and like the Star Wars reference. I ain't like that much.
Yeah, I mean, it was cute.
Yeah, it was cute, but it was like, Star Wars movies that came out around that time were trash. So, no. And that was even a reference from the...
Yeah, it wasn't
But
from the
like-
prequels, it was from the originals, which I'm glad they referenced the originals. Much better than the
they knew if
prequels.
they referenced the prequels. Oh, no.
Oh,
But it's like-
no!
The movie wasn't bad. It was just...
No.
It made me hate Woody even more. But yeah. Why are you choking?
I was drinking water. It's fine. Cut it out. Anyway, number 5 for me is Monsters Inc. Alright. So, these movies, it's hard to find flaws in them. It's my top 5. So now I'm just ranking them on how good they were to me after watching them the first time and watching them for the most recent time. Monsters Inc., the ending will always get me. her saying kitty and him looking in awe, that is, I don't want to say iconic, that's a little cliche. It's just hard hitting, okay? It's that good of a scene. Mike Wazowski isn't just a comic, isn't just comic relief. He actually has, things going for him. He has a girlfriend. He has problems at his job. He's not just a one-note character. Every character in this movie is good, but just looking back on it, the other 4 movies just had a bigger impact.
All right. So it's more so. It's not even. It's kind of like how it was with one of the earlier movies. It's not the fact that it was bad. It's the other ones
They're
that
just
impacted you.
they're just
more.
better. They're just better, barely better. All right.
All right.
Number 5.
Oh, I got Finding Nemo.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Since the top 10, honestly, it was kind of getting harder. But the top 5, that was really, really, really difficult. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The reason Finding Nemo is so low on here is because the movie's named after Nemo, but Marlin and Dory are really the main characters. And I hated Marlin as a character when I was younger.
Okay.
I was like, this dude is just being a dick to everyone. I understand you're trying to find your son, but you could still be nice to somebody. Like, he yelled at Dory because she couldn't remember her name when she already told you, like, she pretty much has dementia or Alzheimer's, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still going out of her way to try and help you, and she can barely remember what she just thought. So that's significant enough already. And you wouldn't even be able to get to your son if it wasn't for Dory, because she's actually a likable character. And the fish wouldn't have helped you without Dory. The turtle wouldn't have helped you without Dory. Like, none of them would have helped you if Dory wasn't there. Even the whale, even though we didn't know Dory actually spoke whale, wouldn't have helped you. And that was kind of like a really big part. But you were just being a dick the whole time. But now that I'm older and I see it, I'm like, dang, what if I had a kid? I'd be doing anything I could to get my child back too. But at the same time, you're still being a huge dick. And Nemo, he was overprotected too much.
Yeah.
And I felt like he could have stood up for himself. Like, not like yell at his parent or anything. Don't do anything crazy like that. But being like, hey, bruh, let me just go to school. I know I have a little fin or whatever. Like, I need to get tougher somehow. So if I need to get bullied and roasted about it to like get myself to be able be like you, how you were before mom died, let me go do that. Don't just try and keep me as your little baby boy while like my life's passing me by, because you're not gonna be here the whole time. So I need to be able to know how to live on my own, because just like how mom died in a flash to a barracuda, something could happen to you too. I need to know how to deal for myself. And they did show that development when he was with the fish in the fish tank, but it's like we completely like forgot about them. Like Nemo's like, I'm out. All right.
Oh yeah, wasn't the after credit scene like them floating in the Indian Ocean with them still in the bags, not knowing how to get out?
Yes, and they showed up in Finding Dory, still in the bags.
Still in the bags. Pretty sure they'd be dead by now. That bag's got to get dirty some point.
Yeah, we can't go for, no, the bags were dirty. There was a whole bunch of algae in there.
They should be
like,
dead.
We can't go by like we shouldn't go by like what's scientific, because if we did that, that means that Nemo's dad was supposed to.
I know the whole thing. Nemo's supposed to be a woman, and they're supposed to repopulate. Just yeah. All right.
But like that beginning scene where the mom died, that was actually sad. I didn't expect her to die.
Oh no.
So that was a good scene.
All right.
What's your number 4?
Yeah. So after you said anything, I went into some reconsideration, and I kind of switched them up a bit. I got The Incredibles at number 4. Ooh boy. Okay. So, is it the best superhero movie of 2004? Yes. Is it the best Pixar movie? No, and it doesn't crack the top 3. Here's why. Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2. They are part of my life. Finding Nemo. The one that was battling for 3rd place, I think. I'm still trying to think everything over. The Incredibles doesn't hit that fine note of emotion like Finding Nemo does, which I'll get into later when I discuss it. But The Incredibles, it went for something different than Finding Nemo, which it should have, and so for this one, I'm praising it. Don't act like I'm not praising it. The Incredibles went for a man suffering a midlife crisis. And his whole situation, his whole thing, trying to get back to when he was great again, hits home with people who are actually struggling with that. And so he does everything he can. He gets in shape. He saves people from a burning building and gets in trouble with the cops just so he can feel like he's great again. And so for him to do this whole thing to where he actually goes on, he goes on an island, he fights a giant robot, and he loves it. He goes back to his costume creator and sees if he can get a new costume. All that, Mr. Incredible has an amazing storyline for this movie. And it's complemented by all the side characters. Helen thinking he's having an affair. That could actually happen. He's got the hair on his suit. He's been gone a bunch. He's been looking better. And after 15 years of marriage, now he decides to look better. Helen has a perfectly good reason to suspect that he's cheating on him. The kids are having their own problems at school. Dash wants to be good just like his father wants to be good, but can't because his mom says no. Violet is having problems because she thinks she's different from everyone else because she has powers. She feels that she is inadequate. And Jack's a baby. Imagine the kind of crap he's going to go through. This was before the second movie where they're just like, no, he's still a baby. As an audience member, you're like, I wonder what he's going to go through. And so the family dynamic works so well. Also, Samuel L. Jackson has the most quotable line in any Pixar movie ever. Honey, where is my... how many people have said that? How many people? Anyone who has seen the movie.
When Incredibles 2 first came out, you know how many people dressed up like Frozone?
Oh, yeah. So say it? It's a great movie, but it's an amazing movie, but it misses out on the top 3 because it just doesn't have the same kind of theme as the other 3 movies, which isn't its fault. But again, we're doing a ranking system. All these movies are top 10s. These are all 10 out of 10, all right? I just have to rank them now based on emotional appeal to me. So there you go.
All right, so me?
All right. Number 4.
All right, this one I guess would be controversial to you because like this is one of the newer movies.
Okay.
It's Coco.
Coco's number 4?
Yeah, I was surprised it passed over Finding Nemo, but and Toy Story 2. But my whole thing with Coco was the fact that I never really paid attention to the name of the movie. I didn't remember it to the very end of the movie, honestly. So it was like I went through the whole movie. I was like, all right. No, actually, I knew the movie, but it never clicked that the great grandmother's name was Coco.
Right.
So I was going through the whole movie. I was like, all right, he's not the grandson of whatever his face, De La Cruz or whatever. Right. I was like, that'd be too easy. Like, and Pixar does take the easy way out, but it's never for like a super straight up plot. You know, they always got that little twist at the end. Mm-hmm. My whole thing was, the reason why I thought the movie was good was he actually stood up and was being independent off the rip. Like with Riley in Inside Out. She ran away. Stupid. I don't like her for it. But she ran away. She took up initiative and she ran off. What's his name? Manuel or whatever?
Manuel, yes.
Yeah. Manuel, he's like, I'm not gonna wait to the end of the movie. I'm gonna do it off start. So he runs off. He's gonna go like, and he's doing it for quote unquote a good cause. Is to remember his ancestor or who he believes to be his ancestor. So he's showing the love to ancestors that the rest of the family is refusing to. So, you know, he's in his head, he's doing something good. And his family's being bad, and he's actually standing up for what's right at this moment. And I like that part. And I liked how his whole dynamic with Hector was, how Hector at first was, oh, I'm doing this so I could be remembered. Because I want to be able to see my family, because I love my family too, but nobody else wants to give me the opportunity. Manuel, he's just trying to be a dick. He's like, yeah, De La Cruz, I like music, so I'm going to go support this dude. But it's like, so they're both running like parallel things, but they're at odds the whole time. But when it comes down to it, Hector was willing to give up his way back. He bing-bonged, but he actually got the ending that Bing Bong should have got, where he actually got to come back. I like
Right.
that portion of it. And then with Granny Coco, how he was able to, or Mama Coco, my fault, he was able to sing her the song and sing. They got to sing together. He got to spend time with his grandmother, like his great grandmother, before she passed, which was amazing. And they put the. I didn't like that Coco was old when she came back, but like they're
Yeah.
able to be together as a family. And I don't know if it hit me harder because like my grandmother passing around the time that I watched Coco, but like I don't know, I just really liked it for that significance.
All right. That's good. That's good. No, Coco was a good movie. I thought it was good. No, yeah, Coco's good. All right, what are we at? Number 3 for me. Oh boy. All right, number 3 is Toy Story.
Oh wow, all right.
Disregarding how it's the first movie, disregarding all of the technical issues, not technical issues, but how it's not as well animated as the other ones, because again, it was the first movie in 1995. This movie, it just, it's so different. It changed the world. It was the first big financial CG movie. Everyone realized that the story so good. I didn't think it would be possible. If you come up to me, say Toy Story is not a real thing. You come up to me and you say it's a story about toys that come to life. I would say, okay, that's not really a big thing. Having Toy Story be about a toy who is realizing that he is coming to life and then has to deal with all that. First off, that's very existential. Not really big for a kid's movie, but they did it anyway. And just two toys trying to realize how they need to live their life together. I know I'm not sounding too academic with it, but just Toy Story is an amazing film. It's well written, well animated for the time, and just holds a good place in my collective conscience for the time I watched it. I really don't have anything else to say. It's just a good movie to me.
All right. Well, my number 3 is also Toy Story.
All right.
My whole thing is toys coming to life, and there's other movies that are about toys coming to life, but Toy Story actually animated the toys. Other movies were just like, oh, I'm gonna get a Barbie doll, and we're just gonna like move it slightly or act like the doll is talking. Like I've seen them. I don't remember the name of the movie, but like I've seen a movie like that where it's like actually enjoyable, but it's not up to par with Toy Story.
No.
And the whole thing with Toy Story is the person that they have as the villain, right?
Right.
They put Sid and his dog as the villain. They aren't really the villains of the movie. And I like that about it. It's more so Woody's the villain against Buzz.
Right.
Buzz is in the villain spot to Woody. But at the same time, they still have to work together to get back to Andy's house because of Woody's jealousy. And at the whole, like, all at the same time, Mr. Potato Head is really pulling the strings behind the scenes. And he's low-key finding a way to make himself, because if you remember back, Mr. Potato Head used to be like one of the favorite toys.
Right.
And when Woody popped up, that got changed. So how Woody was feeling, Mr. Potato Head's been feeling that way for years and years and years. And nobody seems to really peep that Mr. Potato Head is actually pulling the strings to keep the toys away from it. Like when Woody was in Sid's house and at the window, he's like, hey, catch this so we can come back. I have Buzz here with me. Also, he's the one that said, I don't trust you. I don't believe you. Stay over there. We're chilling without you. So the fact that they were able to have like a whole bunch of villains not actually play the role of villains, I thought it was amazing. Like Toy Story is just a top tier movie. There's a reason why it had like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. Like it's an amazing film, and it started it all off. Without Toy Story, we couldn't have any of these other Pixar movies. So that's how you know it's just that good.
Totally agree. All right, my number 2, Finding Nemo. All right. The opening scene. A father, a mother, hundreds of kids. By the time it's all over, one father, no mother, one kid. The amount of mental trauma that would go through a parent at that time, losing everything except for one thing in his life to have, already off the bat, great start. Now the father is protective. He wants his son to be safe. He doesn't want to lose the last thing he has in his life. The one thing connecting him to his wife and his other kids. And Nemo obviously doesn't really he probably doesn't know the true story, because that would be really upsetting to a child, and he doesn't want to, get him hurt, get him lost, so he probably doesn't tell him. And then to have all these emotions boiling for Nemo, years and years of having your father overbearing, and finally it just snaps, and so you do one thing just to show him you're your own person, and it goes horribly wrong. Imagine you're Marlin. His name is not ringing a bell at this moment. Marlin. Yeah, Marlin. Imagine that. The last thing you have, everything you've been working for years to keep safe, goes away. You failed. And so the one thing you have that could help you is this dementia-ridden bluefish, voiced by Ellen DeGeneres. Wow. He crosses the entire ocean just to find his son, all while worrying, is he going to be dead? Is he going to be alive? And then finally, it all culminates in him finding his son, and he just says, I'm sorry. That's so good. That just sends chills down my spine. It's a great movie. Great. Love it.
No, it really is fire. And, the only sad thing about it is, and it doesn't take anything away from the movie, is the fact that Marlon low-key caused it upon himself. And it was just it was a freak coincidence, because he witnessed his wife and 99 of his kids get murdered. That was a one-person genocide.
Mm-hmm.
Not one person committed a complete genocide. And then, so as a result, it changed how he would father his child. And because of how he fathered his child, it caused the child to want to rebel. And that one time the child rebelled, he got snatched. And now Marlon's if I had just given him a little bit of more freedom, he wouldn't have done that, and this wouldn't have happened. And Nemo's head, it was, if I had just listened to my father, I wouldn't have gotten taken. So it was it was such a sad coincidence, but it turned into such a phenomenal film.
It just all worked out. It just all made sense. All right, number 2. How about you do number 2 and number 1, then we'll come from me to number 1, and then we'll finally finish it, because this is getting movie levels of long.
All right. My number 2 is The Incredibles.
Okay.
And the iconic words, "Where's my super suit?" It's fire. And with it, it's literally a father, a former superhero. It's somebody that lost his stardom. It's kind of like Space Jam. Michael Jordan lost the sauce, and he went on to something else, but he wasn't able to do it as good as he used to do something else, what he was passionate about. So what he do? He went, Bob went, he got back in shape. He turned to pretty much a vigilante, and after he got caught, and they're like, we don't want to have to move you again, bro. He was like, all right, I won't. He got back into the superhero business, on the low, and as a result, his home life was turning to trash. His daughter's going through a phase. His son wants to be like him, even though he's not being the best role model right now. He has a baby that's a newborn, pretty much, and his wife thinks that he's cheating on her because of everything he's doing is being super sneaky. So all of that, the family was able to put down everything that they were doing so they could be together as a family, as a super family.
It's a super family.
And it was just perfect. And not to mention, the kid that looked up to him as a child turns into the villain, turns into something that he would hate and would never wish upon anybody, because he was a dickhead one time to his fan, because he was trying to keep the fans safe, turned into a villain that ended up getting himself killed. And Bob was going through a midlife crisis, and that's just compounding on top of it. And they still turn into an amazing film. That's a lot of details to have to work around and actually put into a good film, and they did it perfectly, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. If I had to say anything against The Incredibles, it's that if he had listened to Buddy for a second, He's like, I made rocket boots. He was like, oh, really? That's cool. Show me later. And he goes, okay. Flies back. All I had to do was say, show me later. Everything would have been great. That's just something. You look back with, I don't have to trouble a film with that. It's because you can look at that. That's a split-second decision. He's in the moment, so I don't like get mad. Same with like Inside Out or Coco, where like they have multiple chances to leave. But with that one, it's a split-second decision you've made 15 years ago. Remember, that is in the past. It's a already happened event, so...
Yeah, and remember that, who was it, Bon Voyage? He had bombs right there.
Again. So, yeah, it all just makes sense. All right, number 1.
All right, you want me to go on my number 1 first, right?
You start.
Okay. My number 1 is Monsters, Inc. And... the reason it's Monsters, Inc. is because I see no faults with this movie.
Okay.
Because the ending is, in my opinion, probably the best ending of any Pixar movie.
It's really good.
Because that whole kitty, like after he had to send the baby back, and then had the door shredded in front of him, and then his best friend took the time out of his day for who knows how long to put the door back together, and only was missing one piece, and the fact that Sully always kept it with him after all they had been through, and he was able to see her that one last time. Perfect. And at the start, he was the best scarer. He was the golden boy.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the one that screwed up because he decided to be nosy and go into a door. And as a result, he became attached to a human, which was a huge no-no. He put his job in jeopardy, put his friendship in jeopardy, all for this child. But despite it being, like breaking a law or whatever, he still said, I'm going to be different. I'm not going to be scaring children or whatever. I'm going to take care of this child like it's my own. I thought it was amazing. And you know, my boy Mike Wazowski was right there on top of it. And Randall, he was just a jealous second. Like, I'm not sure how many anime fans there are, but like Endeavor to All Might.
Endeavor to All Might. That's pretty good, which is weird because Endeavor is big. And you know what? Now that All Might is all linky now it's weird because it's Switch, because All Might is small like Randall and Endeavor is big like Sully. That's fun.
Yeah, but like at the same thing, he's always chasing behind them, and no matter how hard he tries, there's still going to be that gap between them until he finally snapped. He was like, all right, I'm going to take what means the most to you, which was the girl. And that was his way of trying to surpass Sully. And Sully was like, that's not going to happen. And we actually got to see a good resolution to the movie. That's what I just love Monsters, Inc. That's my favorite Pixar movie all time. I don't see that changing anytime soon. I don't know if it will, but they can try.
They can try. All right, number 1, Toy Story 2. It really means something when the sequel is better than the original. With Toy Story 2, it did that tenfold. I don't want to say much about it because I don't want to get into all the details because I could be here for another hour. Woody grows in a way that people usually don't grow in movies. He sees himself as getting old. He seems like it kind of pulled a Mr. Incredible. He's getting old. He's getting torn. Does someone really love him? He goes to see himself. He is an icon. He is loved by millions, and he can be loved by millions if he just goes with these people. But he doesn't. His love for one person keeps him where he needs to be. And that's sappy, I know. But again, it's really good on the emotional side. And then it adds characters, Jesse and Bullseye. And those characters aren't annoying. They're not bad. They are great characters. They're great additions. Stinky Pete is a great villain. His whole life he's been stuck on a box, not loved by a single person. He has been emotionally drained. And now, finally when he sees his chance to be loved by thousands upon thousands of Japanese children, sees it taken away. And he doesn't want that. That's not really a villain. That's a scared person. It's not that Toy Story 2 is the best Pixar movie. Definitively. To me it is, but again, I'm not the one who says it by law that it is. Toy Story 2 is good because I don't see a hero and a villain fighting as toys. I see real life individuals making sense of a terrible situation. There you go. That's all I got. Ended on a high note.
All
right. Well then, that was an hour and 30 minutes. Oh my lord. Anything you want to say before I shut it all off?
I mean, hey, we talked about something we are actually like. It's not like we're over here bullshitting. So,
No.
Where's my super suit?
Where's my super suit? Great way to end it off.